Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, August 26th meeting of the Norton Planning Board. The public is welcome to participate in person or remotely. We are here in person tonight at the Norton Town Hall at 72 East Main Street in the Crane Room. You may also join online via the Zoom link listed in the agenda. If you have any questions before the meeting, they can always be emailed to town staff as listed in the agenda. I will call the meeting to order. I will note we have one member, Rob Welsh, on Zoom tonight. The rest of the members are present in person.
We have one member absent.
And one member absent. I don't believe there are any planning board business and policies off the bat to discuss. Brian, do we have bills to sign?
Verizon.
Brian's passing down a Verizon bill
Payroll.
and payroll. We do have some minutes tonight to talk about. We'll save those for the end of the meeting. Our first item on the agenda is a public hearing for special permit 25 for 0 Elm Street. The owner is 47 Riverworks LLC. The applicant is Suhas Thattel. The applicant is requesting to construct a 2,800 square foot duplex. This project we'll be looking at will be 2 special permits they need. They need a special permit for a duplex in the R60 zone, and they also need a special permit because they're in the Water Resource Protection District.
Good evening, Dan Campbell, Level Design Group, on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is, as you said, Suhas, who has an agreement to purchase the property should permits be granted. What we have, and I'm sure everybody is familiar, on Elm Street, across the street from the large commercial building, is a parking lot. That is this property. Essentially, we have a 36,500 square foot paved lot on just slightly less than an acre. And we're looking to remove the pavement on the lot and construct a duplex with all associated utilities and driveways. So there will be a reduction in the current pavement from 36,500 to about 6,500. So a reduction of 30,000 square feet of impervious space. The letter I handed out was uploaded to OpenGov earlier today, but it's a detailed description of the intention having to do with water resource protection special permit that we've asked. Because it specifically says if you're creating any more than 2,500 square feet of impervious space. The problem is the way it's defined, we are creating 2,500 square feet of impervious space because we're creating about 6,000, even though we're removing 30,000 overall on the property. The other special permit is for the duplex itself in the district. One of the other maps I uploaded to OpenGov was an aerial photo based upon the assessor's mapping to show sort of the districts in the area. We've got the subject property in R60. Across the street, we have a commercial property. For whatever reason, surrounding this house, there's an industrially zoned property. We have the VC zone at the center of town, and then R60 again on the other side of the VC zone. To show that, not that it's common, but to show that there are other permits in this area that are duplex or greater having to do with our special permit. We also outlined on the assessor's map the immediate properties within 500 feet, 1,000 feet, and 2,500 feet that are also multifamily properties based upon land area as well as the number of units. So our property is the green property here. 3 doors down, we have a 12-unit property. 4 doors down from that, there's a duplex. There is a 2-family property 2 doors down from that, all of which are within 500 feet of the subject parcel. Across, basically across the pond, there is a much larger parcel, but that parcel is within 500 feet. That parcel contains a 44-unit townhouse complex. As we move towards the center of town, we have a 2-family, and the differential between two-family and duplex is it's two separate structures versus one structure with two units in it. We have a two-family, 4 units down the other direction. As we approach the center of town, as I said, we've got the VC district. Just on the other side of the VC district, we have a two-family, and a 32-unit complex, all within less than half a mile of the property. So it's not unusual for the zoning district as a whole. It's not unusual for a property of this size, so it wouldn't affect the zoning district per the special permit requirements. It also wouldn't be a dramatic effect on the neighborhood. We're improving water quality. The removal of the pavement gives us the opportunity to produce infiltration that hasn't been there in decades. It also gives us the opportunity to control some of the stormwater that's coming off of Elm Street itself. Right now, the stormwater comes down the gutter line, goes to the side of the property and pools on the corner of a neighbor's property and behind our property. This will promote infiltration of that stormwater prior to ever getting to those properties. So we look forward to any questions. Happy to answer questions or comments.
Got a couple right off the bat. You have not filed with Concom yet? Is that you're going to have to file with Concom? You just have not filed yet, correct?
Correct. So we had the wetlands were flagged last week. John's going to have the opportunity to take a look, but we've asked him which one he wants us to file, a full notice of intent or NRAD. Basically, it's paved now. Which way do they want us to go with it? That's all.
I know you were in front of the ZBA a few nights back. You need you need at least one variance for the site, I believe, could you explain the variance you need for square footage?
Sure. So the required square footage of the property is 60,000 square feet for a single-family house. We are below that. We're 0.97 acres, a little over 40,000 square feet. For a duplex, it requires 80,000 square feet. So we're in front of them for a variance for essentially 40,000 square feet.
That's my first questions that I have. I'll open up to the board with any questions. Tim, I see you first.
Rob has his hand up in the Zoom. I'm not sure if we want to just give Rob the...
Sure. My computer died, so. Rob, you have a question? You want to lead off? Can you hear us?
I just want to make sure. So you're basically the area where you're looking to put a duplex is that entire parking lot area is your lot.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm working off a Google map here. So, okay, no, that is just what I did want to understand. And we have the 40,000 square feet, so we only have about 2/3 of the requirement. That's what we're being asked about, correct?
That's what the zoning board is being asked about. The special permit in front of the planning board is for the duplex itself. Single family is allowed by right. Duplex is a special permit. And then we have a special permit for the Water Resources Protection District, which pretty much anything that happens on this property or surrounding properties would be applying for the same permit.
Yeah, no, I get out of the water resources of that. You're removing pavement but creating a paved area. I got that. So we are not, the size of the lot is not part of what we're talking about or worrying about tonight, correct?
I'm happy to answer any questions, but it's in front of the ZBA for that.
Okay, fair enough. Just so I understand how I'm supposed to think. Thanks.
Sure.
I'm good, Alan. Thanks.
Thanks, Rob. Tim?
I'm sure this is something that you have probably covered, but just for members of the audience, maybe this is across from the Reed and Barton property, which obviously has a long history of environmental challenges, to put it mildly.
Correct.
There's no issue with anything like that on this site.
We were asked at the ZBA, so happy to answer. If you look in this location and this location, there are monitoring wells on the property that were submitted as part of one of the response actions for Reed Barton. The Reed Barton spill was interior, sort of behind the building, which if you know the building when you're driving down the abutting road, it climbs a story down before you ever get to the water. So the spill down there is approximately 12 feet to 15 feet below where we are to start with, and moving towards where groundwater is going, which is through the dam, through the weir, and following that path along the parking lot across the street from them, the other direction. So this has been tested. As specified at the ZBA, technically there's not a 21E required, but it's already been tested because it's currently a commercial site.
Yeah, thank you. I think that had been something that I think we had seen in terms of correspondence, but just to make sure that it was clear for everybody that that was, that made sense, so.
I can confirm those studies too. It was
Dude.
studies that we commissioned through a grant.
I was gonna say, do we have anything on file, or can we get anything from an LSP saying this? I mean, I don't,
Yes.
not
we
that I
have-
don't trust you, I just don't trust anybody.
Yeah,
I can
So
upload
Saying
it.
it is fine, I just would like some,
I can upload it. That's
Yeah.
easy.
So it was mentioned specifically by the Board of Health, because originally we had a water well on the site rather than tying to town water, because we hadn't been able to get information on the water lines that were in the street. The water department has since clarified the water lines in the street. We will not be putting a well in, we'll be putting connection to the town water. His concern is if we put an artesian well in, which is clearly a lot deeper than the contamination is, do we then draw the contamination towards us where it wasn't previously? So it makes sense to connect to the town water, if at all possible, but that was the Board of Health concern.
and as far as septic with the Board of Health, you're gonna be well above
Right, so
contamination.
the septic system itself, when we perk tested the lot, we're less than 2 minutes an inch in sand. So the bottom of our system is 5 feet above the groundwater, hence the mounding that you see on the property. That's the soil we need to bring in. Groundwater on the site is about 30 inches down. Fill is anywhere from 18 to 28 inches. So it's been filled over time for sure. Part of it is we need to remove the fill to be able to place the building, and then we'll build it up with septic sand.
Anybody else on the board have any questions right now?
You gonna market this based on the view?
I'm sorry, Rob, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, I gotta watch my mouth.
Yeah.
I was asking who's gonna market it based on the view. I was just kinda looking at that.
Oh, gotcha.
Good luck to the realtor.
Tim?
Just from a procedural question, maybe this is Alan to you or Paul, kind of where does the do we know where the application stands with other boards? I know if they're in front of ZBA for the variance.
ZBA kicked
If
it to us. ZBA did not want to make a decision till we heard it. I watched the ZBA meeting that they had the
Yeah.
other night, and they kind of kicked it to us. So it's kind of a chicken and the egg that we've been in a few times.
Yeah.
So the,
I don't-
the
I-
ZBA's primary questions were twofold. One, they wanted us to add more dimensions from the building itself to the property line. That was a concern from an approval standpoint. They also wanted to hear from this board having to do with water resource protection, even though not technically in the purview of the ZBA. They wanted to make sure it was heard first.
Yeah. No, I think from I know somebody needs to move first, but I feel like if we give approval, it's almost like we're giving a stamp of approval to them sometimes. And I wonder if,
Can we make it conditional?
It would be conditional anyway. He needs all
yeah,
the variances and
Yeah.
special permits to do anything.
yeah,
A no to one of them is a no to all, basically.
yeah. But I mean, if we were to close and ZBA would just say no, they would have to modify the whole thing and do it all over again. So, is ZBA looking for us for definitive statements before to give them? Paul, do you have that kind of understanding, or?
Well, again, I
Well,
think
I understand the lot size question seems to be the biggest one, but we don't vote on that here tonight. That's for the ZBA to decide what they feel like. As I
Correct.
understand it.
so. I think they are looking for direction on the water resources, but part of that might be hearing from conservation as well, since this is in their jurisdiction. And typically, these get filed at the same time. A lot of times, conservation gets a permit before we do.
I'd be a ton more comfortable right now if it was an open in front of the conservation. They had already had reviewed stormwater and everything. And it was, I like it when they're both going at the same time. It's just a level of comfort.
So I can tell you a couple of things. First, the reason we didn't file with conservation is we did observe the property, we observed surrounding properties, and we don't trespass on other people's land. It's mostly open woods behind us. We did not see any indicator plants. John knows of, due to his history, about through the southwestern corner, knows of a wetlands that was off-site. So we went and knocked on doors. We were able to go onto the property. We did flag the wetlands. It's taken time.
Yep, I
From a
understand.
stormwater standpoint, however, anything under 3 units doesn't actually require a stormwater. In this case, stormwater is improved purely by the fact that we're removing that amount of pavement and promoting infiltration. But less than 3 units, it's not required from a state or local standard anyway.
I
You have to
think,
concede the point, taking up all that pavement actually improves the rainwater situation.
no, I agree with that, Rob, 100%. While we mull on that, I'm going to go to the members of the public. If there's anyone in person that would like to speak while the board members deliberate in their head. Anybody in person want to speak on this project? I see no one running to the microphone. Anyone online with their hands raised? I don't have it.
No.
No one online. I'll go back to the board members. Anybody have any questions? I'm a little hung up on the Water Resource Protection District. There's not, if I had a letter from an LSP in front of me saying the land was clean, or a letter from the town, I'd be more comfortable myself. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of protection for anyone buying the house, to me.
Well,
You can say, I know there's wells there.
Sure.
I know they're monitored. You've stated that. I just don't have that paperwork in front of me.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, a question for Paul.
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, Paul, before there was somebody, we talked to that was looking to buy the Reed and Barton plan itself, take it down, clean the land, and they were looking to put up multiplexes there too. Do we have paperwork from that? Because I recall that they had done a study on all of that, and their plan at one point had included the lot across the street. And I think you did have, there was testing done on it at that point in time, but
Right.
it was clean. I
We've
just wonder
done,
if we have that record.
so a few years ago, we actually have done 2 rounds of assessments. We hired a licensed site professional, and there, as Dan mentioned, the results were showing downhill impacts. I mean, on the site, on Reed and Barton's site, around it, but mostly downhill from it. The studies showed that on this parcel there were 2 monitoring wells, and it was showing non-detectable levels. So
That's what I recall too. Do we have the paperwork on that or anything,
yeah, and I
Okay.
can upload that to the files. We have it.
And Alan makes a good point. We do want that documented, if we're giving permission to build there.
As far as the special permit for me for the duplex, I'm not particularly hung up on anything for the special permit for the duplex. It seems to fit the area. There's precedence in the area of duplexes and multifamily. Members of the board, I don't know if anyone else has any questions just regarding the special permit for the duplex use. I think the hang up right now is water resource protection in my mind, unless anybody else.
That's my question is, why would we be trying to vote on something that impacts water if the Concom hasn't done anything with it? There's been no decision from them.
We could condition it on their approval, that we've done that a number of times.
Yes.
It would just take them longer to get there.
Well,
From a procedural question, the water resource protection is firmly in the planning board's hands. No matter what Concom decided, if Concom decided that they wanted us to put a infiltration basin in the backyard, even though technically the water resources protection doesn't want us to do that, they want us to promote but not necessarily provide. The wording is a little strange based upon Section D that we're applying under. So if they did, we'd have to come back here for a minor plan adjustment. Any adjustment that they make to the plan.
So we could condition,
Say?
go ahead.
I was gonna, from your perspective as the applicant, would you prefer to get to a certain point with Concom before we close the public hearing? Or you're,
No, I'm fairly confident with over 30,000 square feet of pavement removal. The flags that we've located, not that I've been able to apply yet because they were just located Thursday. We're close to 40 feet away from where the flags are, where we're removing pavement. I think it's a pretty standard application and one that the Concom would want to see. So I would be pretty comfortable.
so any burden of coming back to a modification you are accepting in full,
Yeah, I completely understand the potential, especially, unfortunately, as you said, chicken and the egg situation. ZBA looks to the planning board. They say that's standard. We've had this discussion with the planning board and the ZBA on multiple occasions. From an application standpoint, it doesn't matter to me who goes first, but unfortunately, they've tied it partially to you. So I at least needed to open the public hearing tonight before I went back.
I always get stuck in my head, so we're looking at a lot, but technically this project doesn't fit on this lot without their approval. That's where I get stuck with the chicken and the egg.
Oh,
And they'll say it the same way.
Yes,
Their decision relies on us.
yes.
So that's where I get stuck. I'll take the pleasure of the board. Anyone have any comments on how you wish to proceed? Do you wish to continue for another evening? We could close the public hearings tonight, vote on it, and do a long list of conditions of everything we talked about. It's still, no matter what, going to be conditioned on the conservation and the ZBA. If the ZBA says no to the variance, then the project won't go forward. Same thing with our special permit votes. If we vote no on the Water Resource Protection District, that's kind of mute point in front of the ZBA. I'm looking for board members.
What are we,
Any-
what are you presenting to us to vote on?
We could do any, we could close the public hearing tonight. We could leave it open. We could continue to our next meeting. We have a few different options, depending on what everybody's comfortable with.
I'm comfortable with voting with the conditions that you've put down. I mean, they pretty much address what my concerns are.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second.
We have a motion to close the public hearing for special permit 25 for 0 Elm Street, and we have a second. We have a member,
Eric and Ken.
we do have a member remote, so we will do a roll call vote. I'll go down the roll. Tim?
Yes.
Nay? Nay.
You don't want to close the
You don't
public
want to
hearing?
close.
Oh, yes, I want to, yeah, right.
Close the
Yeah,
public hearing.
Yeah, I want to close it, yeah.
So that's a yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
And Rob?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. That's 6-0, closing the public hearing. So we can still, we don't have to vote on it tonight. We could still keep it open and see what the other boards do. Or like we discussed, we can just condition it, which we can talk about now and then go over at the next meeting, what the conditions we are. Right off the bat, we would condition it on ZBA approvals for the variances they needed. We would condition it on Concom's approval. Paul, I'll leave this up to you. Could we do a condition on something to do with the documentation? Well, I know that would be accepting more information. We couldn't do that. Now that we've closed the public hearing.
That wouldn't be a
That wouldn't be able to be a condition now.
But I can upload that
Mhm.
information to OpenGov and have that available.
So the ZBA, Concom, our standard conditions. Anything else we would want to add to the conditions? I know we'd have to go back into the Water Resource Protection District laws. There's language in there for fertilizers that can be used on land, I believe, and other things like that.
Right. And
Okay.
we've started making that language standard.
Standard,
Best practices for turf maintenance
gotcha,
and so forth.
It's standard in the Concom approval as well recently.
gotcha.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Rob?
I myself, that documentation is something I've seen before, I raised it because I was aware of it from a previous thing and before this board, and then Paul's confirmed it exists. But if you'd be more comfortable waiting till you've actually put eyes on it yourself and maybe some other board members, I don't have an issue with that.
I think at this point we close the public hearing anyway, so I think I'll have to be comfortable enough with it for now.
Okay, fair enough. I was just trying to offer that,
I appreciate
give you a
it.
chance.
If there's nothing else to talk about amongst the board,
I'll make a.
can
I'll
we do
move that
one vote for one special permit, Paul? Or do you want to do two?
I would separate, you have to separate
Have
them.
to separate them. So we're gonna need to do two votes on two special permits. The first special permit would be for a special permit for a duplex in an R60 zone. The chair would entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve that with the, again, with the conditions, wherever we need to.
With our standard conditions and the conditions that we talked about.
Yes, the ZBA and the conservation plus our standards.
Rob has a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Ken?
No.
Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes?
And I'm a yes. Second special permit we need is for a building in the Water Resource Protection District. Chair would entertain a motion.
So moved. Did I say that?
Sounds good.
Seconded.
Leaves me with-
Second by Eric. Roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
I didn't hear you, Rob. Sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And I'm a yes.
I thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Good luck in front of everyone else.
Thank you.
Second item on our agenda is special permit 26 and site plan review 17 for 77 West Main Street. The owner applicant is Northtown Properties LLC. The applicant is seeking to construct a three-story top-of-the-shop building with 18 residential units and a 7,320 square foot commercial space and a 1,850 square foot retail space at 0 West Main Street. How are you?
Good evening, Rich Riccio from Field Engineering on behalf of the applicant. I have a plan here and it looks like, yes, that's the same plan that's on the board here. This is, we're here before you for a site plan review and two special permits for the redevelopment of 0 and 77 West Main Street. This is the former Rich property. The special permits were before you for affordable housing units within the residential building, and this development's in the Zone 3, I believe, of the Water Resources District.
Yes.
The site itself is located within the Village Commercial District. 77 West Main is a 1.5 acre parcel, and 0 West Main is a 0.69 acre parcel that's bisected by a 40-foot approximate strip of land that leads up to the Front Andes Conservation Area. This 0 West Main is on the right-hand side. If you're looking at the plan, that's formerly was used as a hot dog stand in the past, and then the left-hand side was the Rich property with the residents and a number of outbuildings. We're currently proposing two buildings for the project. The building on 77 West Main would be a 3-story building, top of the shop housing. The first floor would have approximately 7,500 square feet of retail and office space, with the remaining space has support and common areas for the residents above. There's some storage space and common gathering area, and potentially a small gym for the residents upstairs. The second and third stories would be the residential uses units. 9 units on each floor for 18 total units. There'd be 12 2-bedroom and 6 1-bedroom units on the site. And then 0 West Main's the smaller parcel to the right would have a small single-story commercial use building approximately 1,800 square feet. The site would be accessed as shown on the plan through through the existing large curb cut that is on that town-owned strip of land. Back in fall at town meeting, the town meeting authorized the granting of an easement on this parcel to the owners of the property to provide access with the intent of, basically centralizing all the access to the property as opposed to doing multiple curb cuts for the different developments. We are proposing a secondary egress point to the west of the large building for truck access and emergency vehicles as well. Parking on the site for the 77 West Main property, we require 64 spaces. We're providing 68 spaces on site. And then on the smaller building, there's 5 spaces required based on the square footages, and we're providing 7 spaces. We've assumed retail type uses to determine the parking counts, and then a split between retail and office as well, not knowing the tenants that are going into these buildings. Should the build out of these buildings be different than what our assumptions are, we would go back before the planning department and potentially the board as well to confirm the parking requirements. We have filed with conservation for this. We had our initial public hearing last night. No major concerns with the project. We requested a continuance because we knew we were coming to the planning board this evening and wanted to get any feedback from this board prior to requesting a close and a vote with the Conservation Commission. We have an extensive stormwater management plan, which has been proposed, consisting of 3 subsurface recharge systems and 5 water quality units to treat the roof drainage and all the pavement on site. The drainage design was reviewed and approved by the town's peer review consultant. He had 2 minor comments just on the construction details of the recharge systems, which we have addressed and would be in our final plan set following any approvals. As I mentioned, the larger building has about a quarter to a third of it is common areas for the residential, the first floor for the residential above. There's some indoor bike storage, and we also have provisions for a 10 bike rack on the outside of the building. We're proposing some open space area for the residents of the property. If you look at the top of the screen, what we're proposing to do, and in this, if you're seeing the site, there's a extensive stone wall that basically bounds the north portion of that site, which is all green on the plan, which we're proposing to retain, has a boundary between the site and the wetlands behind it. But within that area, if you look there now, there's a gazebo that's sitting there. The proposal is to create basically a wetland area with a walking path around it for the residents to walk. There's park benches on it, and then we're proposing a planting plan within that wetland system to encourage wildlife habitat and such, just an area for the residents to go. We presented that to the Conservation Commission as well as part of the mitigation towards some of the buffer zone work, and they didn't really have any questions with regards to that. There's also a lot of existing stone on site, stone foundations and stone walls, which we're trying to reuse. If you look along the perimeter of the parking lot, we do have to fill the site between 1 and 2 feet, maybe 3 feet in some areas, and we're going to create stone armored slopes with that existing stone to as opposed to retaining walls, block retaining walls, try to keep some of the natural features of the stone there around the perimeter of the parking area. Into utilities, water and sewer is available within West Main Street. We have submitted these plans and did receive feedback from Frank Fournier on that, and I anticipated sending a final set to him as well once we addressed any additional comments. But basically the large building will have an 8-inch fire service that comes onto the site, terminating in the hydrant behind the building, and then a 2-inch domestic line coming off of that. And then the small building does not need sprinkler access, so it'll just have a 2-inch domestic off of the main in the street. And then both buildings will have their own gravity sewer connections, and we've made provisions for a grease trap on each of those per our discussions with the Board of Health. We are providing a fenced dumpster pad on each parcel. The larger one, obviously, for the large building, to the rear of the building with adequate turning movements and access for trucks to get to it, and a smaller one adjacent to the small building. One of the other features where we'll be reconstructing the sidewalk along the frontage of the property, working with MassDOT once we receive our local permits, provide suitable access to the site, and also to just promote, walking, pedestrian access to the property. In conjunction with that, we're also proposing to coordinate with GATRA to provide a bus stop at the site. There's an area in the front where we've dedicated for a bench, and we try to work with them to get a bus stop at the facility. And finally, if you scroll down to the last sheet, I think it's the last sheet of this presentation plan set. Yeah, you can just scroll up a little bit. This is, oh no, one more, sorry, that's the fire, the landscaping plan. We have an extensive landscaping plan providing 19 trees and 67 shrubs over the site, just to beautify the area and to meet the requirements of the zoning. And then we also have an additional 70+ shrubs and grasses that would be planted in that constructed wetland area behind the property. And then finally, the last sheet.
Wetland.
We one of the comments that did come up was with regards to fire truck access. We presented this to Deputy Chief Robbins, the turning movements of the Norton fire truck, showing that it does have adequate access from West Main Street to get around the facility without conflicting with any of the parked vehicles.
Do you have that fire truck plan going to the small building at 0? I don't see it. Or is there another plan that it's on?
No, he wasn't as concerned with getting onto that site because he could turn into that facility and just back out if he needed to. It's a small building, and he wasn't as worried about that one, but he just wanted to make sure he had adequate access to get through that parking area on the large site.
Gotcha.
I believe that basically summarizes my presentation. I look forward to any questions from the board, town department, staff.
I've got a few for you right off the bat. If we go up to the top plan, I think it would be on there. Do you have a snow storage area called out?
Yeah, and we actually did talk about that last night at Conservation Commission. What we would, I don't know, do you have a point? I can show it on here. We're talking about this area here, and then some of the landscaped areas. Basically, the long-term operation and maintenance plan says that no snow storage can be dumped directly into wetlands or onto town parcels, and that it would be stockpiled on areas that would flow through the stormwater management system. And if those areas weren't sufficient, the owners would be responsible to truck it off-site.
So we're gonna have to call that out because I'm not seeing much places to put it.
Yeah, I do have a mock-up that I would make sure that's on the revised plan set.
Yeah, because it can't be taking up parking spots, obviously. For
Correct.
You have any dedicated delivery spots marked out? There's obviously, with that many residences, going to be constant Amazon, UPS.
That was the intent, part of the intent of the rear access aisle as well. This access aisle behind the building would be for deliveries, and that way they wouldn't be in the front area. So they will have access to the common, like mail room and such like that on the back side for the residences.
Wonderful. How about EV charging? Not that it's required, but I always like to
Well,
point out.
we did discuss that at our department head meeting, and we will be providing a number of spaces that are capable in this back corner here. Because one of them has to be an accessible space as well, which is kind of a tough thing because they don't want the EV charging right near the building or near the entrances. But we have a good spot in this corner here where this could be an accessible space and an EV space. And then we'd run some of the conduit for the charging stations around the back corner there.
You'll set it up, not necessarily install them.
Right, I mean,
If you
whatever,
need it.
yeah. I believe that's what's the requirement under the stretch code right now.
So you touched on something I was going to ask. Could you just go over our handicap parking situation? It looks like, I'm not sure if we're light on handicap parking. Is that the gray shaded parking areas in the middle?
Yeah, we have, right now, we have 2 proposed spaces for this main entrance here. And we have 1 space, which is what's required on this side. We'd be able to provide 1 more space on the back side too, that would double as that EV space.
I know it's hard without knowing.
Exactly, yeah.
Very hard. I know.
Right, but I mean, this would be the main entrance for the retail or office uses here. So we could provide, but that's why we focused this one on this. And then this is the common area.
That's the entrance to the common area?
Yes, yeah.
We had touched on, or you had touched on, that you have a strip of town-owned land in the middle of the lot. We did vote on it at town meeting. However, I don't believe there's any agreement in place yet. Paul, do you want to touch on that?
Right, so, and I spoke with the applicant right before the meeting about this, but there is, we've been working with the applicant to sign a license agreement, which would allow the applicant to have access for those purposes. And the applicant has said that he will be going forward and signing it, but in the long run would like to actually acquire the easement at some point. This area is also it's preserved. It's designated as open space. There's been conversations back and forth whether this was conservation land or open space land, but we received an email from Conservation Director John Thomas today confirming it's open space. So the ability to, use it is far easier than if it's Chapter 97, Article 97 land, which is conservation, which is a much bigger task to try to change it.
So there will be paperwork in place at some point. We could just condition it.
You can, yes.
Um,
And we would, I guess at this point, for the more immediate avenue for them to be able to get access to this is a license agreement.
While we're talking about agreements, there's a pilot agreement in place, or there's a proposed pilot agreement. Did I understand that correctly?
So again, when I spoke with the applicant earlier, he said he's going to not do the payment in lieu, but actually construct 2 units on site, which we do that counts toward our subsidized housing inventory.
So 2 affordable units on site.
Yes.
We talked about parking. My one big hang-up right now is if you want to go to the landscaping plan again.
Mm-hmm.
We've got no screening for our neighbor on the left at all. Small strip of green space, it's wide open, and they're going to be staring at a large building.
Along this right hand, the left hand.
The left-hand side, correct.
We have a retaining wall that's going to be there as well. I mean, I think we could plant a row of arborvitaes on the base of that wall, have that wall right up against the pavement, and then, to provide screening to that parcel.
Preferably not arborvitae, because
Well,
they
I
get
mean,
destroyed, but some type
No,
of
evergreen.
evergreen,
Yeah.
preferably large.
Mm-hmm.
Could you spec something out for the next plan on that?
Yeah, it'll definitely be a tall, thin evergreens that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely don't want, can't look out those windows on the side of that house and look right into a building. We definitely have to provide them some screening. I don't know if you've reached out to them at all, any contact?
Yeah, I don't know if you
With
guys
that
have
neighbor,
spoken with
I
them
don't know.
recently. I mean, we talked to them when they were developing the parcel
Gotcha.
early on, but not since we've gone to this level.
Gotcha.
But we could easily work with them as well and provide screening along that property line.
I know if I lived there, I'd want it, and it's
I did,
Generally, we request any screening buffering between residential and any commercial properties. We pretty much try to heavily screen as much as possible.
I do have a row of, I believe it was a junipers along the property line
On the back. I
on the
saw,
back there that we could wrap right around that side, most likely. That, I think we have enough room to fit that there.
That would be much appreciated on my end. The only other thing I had written down is, you had already said it, it's not a final set of plans yet. We could do a condition on a final set of plans. The water line's not on there. There's a few other details, right, that we have.
Well,
to add.
the water's on the plan,
it on
yeah,
the
I mean, the only difference, the plan I submitted showed a fire service going to the small building, which
Gotcha.
is not needed.
Gotcha.
Believe me, we don't have to watch it. We
Could I ask anyone on the Zoom to please mute your
Turn it off.
microphone until we're called on? There's some background noise on the Zoom call, please. That goes through all my questions. I'll go to the board. Tim, you wanna?
Paul, question. Is this property part of the historic district A?
No.
And does the wall have any kind of historic landmark protection or anything we need to think about?
That I don't know.
Okay. I know for at least one other project we worked on, we even had a historic tree that we needed to go through paperwork on.
Do we have a historic wall warden also?
I don't know.
I don't
but
know either.
I know for the tree, we had to like put a notice on the tree itself
I remember.
Those are for
Yeah.
scenic roads. I don't
for
think
scenic road.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just if there is anything that we need to be careful of with the wall, that was going to be one question.
They did say they're saving as much as possible.
But I don't know if there's anything else that needs to be reviewed.
I don't know.
I saw the letter about traffic in response to the school department comment about volumes. Is there a formal traffic study, or is it just the letter?
No, we included traffic counts in our narrative. We had established projected traffic volumes based on the IT manuals for the residential uses as well as the potential retail uses. I think we used a high turnover restaurant as a very conservative number for the traffic for the small retail building, potentially a coffee shop type of thing, but doesn't have its own traffic count in the books we have. So we feel confident with what we presented in the narrative as sufficient to cover the traffic requirements. It's the numbers were, I mean, there's about 15 to 18,000 trips per day that go across this frontage based on counts on Serpide that I found. And this site would be an additional, I think it was like 550 trips per day over 24 hours. It's not a significant traffic generator.
Yeah, I think the only other comment that I'd have, Mr. Chair, is that a lot of these documents were uploaded into OpenGov today, so I'm not prepared to close the meeting tonight.
I was going to say the same myself. Yet there was a few. I guess the other question for the board is: do we want a peer-reviewed traffic study done? Every traffic study we have done, it really says the same thing: negligible impact on the area. They would look at mainly intersections. That intersection is the closest intersection is horrible. It's already got a failing grade. It can't get any worse, so I don't see that being an
It
issue.
could, but
A double failing
Oh,
grade.
I agree with Alan on that.
It is very close to the schools. It is 18. I mean, not knowing the exact uses does make it harder. I don't know exactly how they do it. I know they said they used a conservative number that would possibly be a higher trip generator than possibly what could be there. So we're really just playing a guessing game. It's obviously during the school day, multiple times a day, very, very busy and challenging area. I will leave it up to the board if we feel like we need a full traffic study done. There was a letter, was that the letter from, I'm drawing a blank now, to the school department, from the school department? There was a memo.
the school department had raised a comment, and then I believe the owner wrote a letter back to the member of the...
That's what it was.
Not the school department, the school...
The business administrator.
thank you.
Right.
I was blanking on their title, but yeah, so that was...
I knew it wasn't the superintendent. So that would be a question for the board, is if we feel we need a full-blown traffic study for this, being 18 units and possibly multiple retail spaces, being this close to school in this bad of a traffic environment. We can ponder that. While, Tim, you have any more questions, or
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to note, this is a very similar building footprint to what we had proposed at 10 West Main. It's actually the same footprint, same use, other than we don't have the garage underneath on this one. And I don't believe we went to that level on the traffic on that site. Just wanted to point that out.
And what I do like about this one, it is, you don't have any architectural elevations in the, do we? So I know facing it from the street, it's, oh, we do, exactly. That, the elevation on the bottom is what we'll be looking at from the street.
Correct. And that is on the
That is,
OpenGov
yes.
as well. Yep.
Yeah, that was in there a month ago.
Yeah.
I
Any,
personally would love to see a traffic study on that.
any other members of the board? We can do a straw poll if we think a traffic study needs or wants to be done.
Is the traffic study just on the intersection you mentioned, not the actual?
Tim, I'll defer to you. They would look at,
Is it? Yeah. Are they just looking at?
they'll look at total trips and they'll look at the
Think-
closest intersections.
I mean, are we just, I think it depends on what we're asking. Are we
Yeah.
asking them to, are we asking for trip counts and speeds and all of that stuff? Or are we just looking for a more formal documentation of what they're calling out in the ITE and having somebody who knows the ITE manual look at it in terms of a peer review? I don't know what level we're looking at. Paul, I'm not sure if you have any thoughts about how we might go about that.
Well, also, if your biggest concern is the school across the way, we'd probably need to look at traffic counts, location of the driveway.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm less concerned about like the center of town and more concerned about the school. You know what I mean? They go hand in hand though, so it's not really. I think I'm fine without a further one, but
But you would want directional, the morning peak, the PM peak, where are the cars coming, where are they turning in and out of here? And they would need to time up with the school's morning and afternoon schedules. Afternoons probably, more people are probably coming in after school is let out, but in the morning, it's
Challenging?
Well, it's you already have some other uses there that are having to deal with it, and they deal with it. It's already challenging with this significantly worsening.
Right. yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, absolutely. We'll go to everyone in the audience comments, right? As soon as all the board members ask questions, we'll go to who's ever online and whoever in person.
But if you were looking to do a more full-blown traffic study with a peer review, I think examining the impact with the school would be top priority.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted, in my response, and we did talk about the trip generation from this site, leaving the site in the morning peak. That's one of the projections we made. And then based on once again, like I said, based on the ITE, there'd be approximately 25 vehicles leaving the site in the morning in the peak hour. If we assumed half went left and half went right out of the site, that's like one vehicle every between 4 and 5 minutes, which based on similar uses close by, I don't think it would be a significant increase based on what's coming and going from, say, Cumberland Farms, for example, or Honeydew. I mean, if you wanted to have someone quickly look at our trip calcs, I mean, that's definitely what, that's up to the board, but we feel comfortable with what we submitted and knowing this was what we discussed this as well when we were up close to the intersection at the school there.
So I'll ask the board, do you wish to do a more invasive traffic study, or do we want to just have a peer review of what they have presented us, a quick look at of their numbers, make sure their numbers make sense and their theory makes sense of how they came up with their numbers?
I can go either way.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Rob.
I'm okay with the peer review. I'll be honest, I think a traffic study, what we're gonna find out is the situation stinks now and it would stink after this.
That's where I am, yes.
What did he say?
The situation's not good now, it's not gonna get any better.
Like, it's not gonna
That,
help.
that was my point, the impact that, not gonna be good.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't see an impact change there. I think it from stinks to stinks.
We can do a straw poll if everybody wants. How about peer review of the numbers that they sent to us? Bridget,
that makes
that's a yes?
sense.
Yeah.
Eric?
Double checking the numbers, I think makes
Double check.
sense.
Why not just do a traffic study and see what it looks like?
They gave us the numbers, we're gonna,
Peer review.
we'll look at their traffic numbers and we'll have a peer reviewer. They really did a traffic study already using trip counts and everything. We're gonna have a peer reviewer look at their numbers and make sure what they presented makes sense. Tim, does that make sense to you?
Can I make one small potential suggestion? Is just if they're going to look at the plan, just review of. I mean, we're using the existing curb cuts,
Correct.
except for the one new one, right?
Yes, and we're closing one off.
Just to say, given how those line up with the driveways across the street,
Yeah, and I had mentioned,
are all those placements good from their perspective as well? That would be the only thing that I would potentially add to that.
I had mentioned on submittal to them that the distances are, that exit driveway is about 350 feet west of the school entrance. This one here.
Yeah.
This exit here, the school entrance is over here, this way. So
Which entrance? The main one or the,
the main-
side one?
Not the main one, not the horseshoe. The entrance to the right of the horseshoe, if you're looking at that side.
So the one going to the high school.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because there's that other one on the other side of the front building there that is also, I mean,
The
it's further east, but
The
yeah.
horseshoe, right? You're talking, yeah.
Past the horseshoe, I think.
No, you're talking about the bus one, right? The
Talking about the bus one that goes to the football fields.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's further east though, so it's, if you're, yeah.
So Paul, can you work with the applicant on that and see what makes sense as far as a peer review on that?
I'm pulling up an aerial too, just so.
Any other member of the boards have any questions, comments, concerns before we open it up to the public for comments?
You good? Thanks.
Rob, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm good, thanks.
So I'd ask any other member of the public if they'd like to come up to the podium, state your name and address, and you can address all questions and concerns to the board, and then we'll answer them or ask Mr. Riccio to answer them for you. Mr. Wiggins, you had your hand up really fast.
Yes. Peter J. Wiggins, the Honorary Mayor of Norton, 157 Mansfield Avenue. And this morning, I was out and about in Norton when I saw a couple of National Grid trucks doing some work on the site. And that site across the street from the schools, it's going to cause more traffic troubles. But I like that site good. It's going to do good for the business and good for the town. But I am concerned about more traffic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wiggins. Sir, you want to step up? Again, just name and address for the record, please.
Dan Kuchar, 85 West Main Street, which is Pine Village condominiums. We are a butter. If you wouldn't mind putting this chart back up for reference.
It's coming.
Yep.
It takes us a minute.
It's all right.
I'm almost there. Okay, do you want this slide up?
Okay, so our property is in the area here, the left or west border of that is our property line. You can see that at one time went through a building that was at one time the rich pool, which became apartments. And when we, in the last year, agreed to sell land to the owners of this applicant, you can see a little square. That area right there. And we agreed to sell it to them as being good neighbors, I guess you might say. We were very happy to accommodate them so that they could build on this property. I want to ask first one point of clarification. It was our understanding we had our residents received a notice from, it probably was not your board, it might have been the zoning board, where the applicant was looking to build two, I think, certainly one, and I think two duplex buildings on this site. No? Or?
Aye.
Yes.
So the Rich House and this part of the parcel are two separate owners. So the person that got the duplexes had the pool house?
We voted on it within last year.
Yeah. That's really,
The duplexes are not in front of us. I believe it's already,
okay, but, so what was that with the duplexes then? I don't quite understand. When we saw that, we said, oh, if they want to build duplexes there, that's perfect fit for this neighborhood. Because if you look at it, the driveway of the school faces the Fernandez reservation land, correct? And from that point west, when you look at the structure of the buildings, it's majority is residential, including my building, which is condominium, running 12 units, but running parallel with the road. And the businesses that are there are all small volume businesses. Bridget's Irish Store, the complex behind them. You go down the road, even the machine shop that's down there, all the way to the strip mall that's almost at the cemetery. All those, and Aura Andrews Insurance Company, and there's a dental place. All these businesses are low volume, or they're residents. Building a construction like this, wow, that really changes that whole neighborhood. And be quite frank with you, it's kind of intimidating that would change just from the standpoint of putting that kind of a building, that size of a complex, where everything else is small and manageable. The other thing is, I was very happy to hear that you had a discussion about the traffic. I invite you all, regardless of what numbers you might hear about, just come to my place and spend a little time there. In the morning, especially when school, even sometimes when school is not in session, it can be backed up all the way from the center of town. All right? And, of course, in the afternoon, the same thing. So I can guarantee you that people are trying to get out of this apartment building if it's built. During those times, they won't want to turn left. They're all going to go turn right because they won't be able to get to where they want to go. It's actually quicker to go around Freeman Street and out. One exception you might say as far as traffic is concerned, and this is really a big concern, the Tasties, which was, of course, Dunkin' Donuts. Yep. Right, but the thing is, they do a good business, and they have as much traffic as in this area that I'm talking about. They probably do more business than anybody else. But, big thing, they have access to two main roads, Freeman Street in addition to West Main Street. And not only that, but the driveway comes around, and you can go in and out from both those streets. That's a big difference as far as the traffic. Even that has added some traffic, but it's worked okay. So anyway, we have a lot of apprehension. I just want that to be on record. And I really think, and I hadn't even thought about the school itself. Wow. I mean, if I was running the school, I would not be happy to have to face another obstacle for these kids and another danger of more traffic. Yes, the traffic stinks, and this would stink again, but we really do we really want to add to that difficulty? I doubt it. A few more cars means a lot of times, depending on the light at the end of the road, it can be 10 minutes. 10 extra minutes waiting to get through there. Anyway, those are the two main things, the traffic and the fact that size of a building and quantity of business and people, 70 parking spaces. Actually, it's 75, as it turns out, 68 and 7. Wow, that's a lot. And, there's going to be people that are going to be using that building and filling up those parking spots, depending on how popular the businesses are there. So anyway, that's our concern, and we just hope that you'll consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kuchar. Anybody else in the audience wish to question, comment, concern? Anybody online with their hand raised? I haven't seen anybody popping up.
If you're on the Zoom meeting and you want to speak, you can use the react function to raise your virtual hand and we'll see you and we'll be able to call on you directly. And if you can't find that and unmute and start talking, we'll probably figure it out too.
If you'd like to step up to the podium and name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Peg Dooley, 134 Godfrey Drive. It's an aside from the two projects that have come before you tonight. Down on 140 a few years ago, and someplace else in town, there would be laminated plans attached to trees, telephone poles, fences, indicating what was coming. I think most of the time it was simply a breakdown of lots. I'm thinking in particular adjacent to opposite, I think it's reopened as a liquor store, but that round building adjacent to this is Mansfield Avenue, adjacent to the reservoir, some plans were in process. And would it have been the owner of the property helping him to sell it as to what was planned there to put these laminated pieces of information on? It would be very helpful for anybody to do anything in town to indicate to the general public, if they don't know what's going on and they pass these properties frequently in their daily life, to know what's planned. I mean, a lot of people, unfortunately, don't look at conservation meetings, planning meetings, select meetings to know what's going on in town. Whereas a sign on Elm Street, a proposition of what's going on, is it the owner of the property, as I say, I'm repeating myself, is it up to them to do it? And maybe it wouldn't be in their best interest to put information on about what we plan to do? Or could it be instituted by whatever board they come in front of?
We follow public meeting law. Paul, you want to give her a brief what we follow for posting for any public hearing, what's required by the state of Massachusetts?
Right. Basically, they're not required to. The state doesn't have a mandate to do on-site advertisement like you're talking about. We do that. We're required when we have a rezoning of an area, we have to put signs out and show the area. But for what we require in our bylaw, which actually goes beyond the state, we notice abutters within 300 feet. We put advertisements in the paper. We put all of this information up online for people to see. So that's the standard that applicants have to meet, that we enforce.
Could you add to your bylaws?
We would have to go to town meeting to update the bylaws to do that.
What do you think?
personally, I'm not a fan of that. We've heard this about rezoning. I remember I tried to change that a few years ago, lost. I just don't know that people. I'm not sure if a person's on 140 or 123 that I want them stopping to look at it. I mean, I'm not it's not something I would initiate. I mean, if it came to me and we had to do it, then we would do it. But I don't know that there's a great value in it myself. I think abutters notices is the best way to go. People get notices right in the mail.
Yeah, but again, that's only for the abutters within 300 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Period. As opposed to the general public, who may have interest in what's going on in any areas.
And they can also, well, to that point too, I mean, people can go online to any of the boards and commissions and sign up to get agendas and minutes from those groups too. So if people want to go to, the town's website and sign up for planning board or conservation, you can get agendas and minutes posted or get a notice that they've been posted as soon as they've actually been posted.
I understand. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the gallery? We'll go back to the board members. I think we have a few things we'll go over now. We're going to give for homework to the applicant. Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? Rob, you all set?
Yes, I'm all set.
So I think the things on my list that we have to readdress is hammer down the snow storage area, hammer down that EV charging and parking area, landscaping on the left-hand side, the license agreement for the town-owned land. I don't know if we can get that before the next meeting or not. It would be helpful, but we could probably just condition it. I don't know, anyway, we have to change the wording from the pilot agreement, Paul, to the too affordable. I know I read it somewhere. Do we have to do anything else with that? I'm not sure.
Got it covered.
Got it covered.
I think, don't we need to look at, it's probably posted after the fact, but we would need special conditions around the affordable housing, like we need to see the state has like a laundry list of rules, right?
Right. Well, our bylaw does too. So
Yeah.
we'll just,
We're going to look into that historic wall, Paul. I don't know,
right.
between the building commissioner and not sure who else you'll have to run it by.
If it doesn't trigger anything, it doesn't trigger anything, but better to
100%.
find it for you now rather than find it later and have bigger problems.
Yeah, the main wall on the site is what surrounds the back parcel here, and that's being retained. We're not touching that. The rest of the stone we're talking on site is both foundations and such, but I mean, I feel free to make sure that's better now, like you said.
And then, Paul, you'll work with the applicant to do a review of their traffic information.
Yeah, we'll get a peer review.
That's everything on my list. Anybody else have anything to add? I said this. Yep, that's all right. Yeah, snow storage area. Hammer down the snow storage area.
Did we mention the left side wall for viewing?
The left side
The screening?
and landscaping. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Brian, our September meetings are the 9th and the 23rd, right?
Does the applicant have any?
We would like to at least continue the discussion on the 9th, because we'll have conservation on the 8th, and at the minimum, we can update you on that. We're good with that, and
Minimum, we can do an update and a continuation if we need it.
if we needed to, obviously, we're anxious to get through things, and if we can turn a peer review around in a couple of weeks, we'll make that happen with Paul.
Hopefully you can. It seems like it's going to be fairly simple and straightforward for you, so hopefully you can turn around in that time. If there's nothing else for the board, the chair would entertain a motion to continue SP 26 and site plan review 17 for 77 West Main Street and 0 West Main Street to September 9th.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Eric and a second by Bridget. We'll do a roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
I mean, yes also, and we'll mark down Ken as a abstain since he
Stepped out for a
stepped
second.
out for a minute. See you in a-
Thank you. We'll
see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Next item on our agenda is definitive plan 2 for 125 Newland Street. The owner applicant is Newland 125 Nominee Trust. The applicant is seeking to subdivide an existing lot into 2 lots, with the rear lot to be accessed by a private road. The applicant is also seeking a number of waivers to the subdivision regulations. Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Arthur Borden on behalf of the owner and applicant. I didn't bring plans with me tonight because I said you had some very good video.
I can show them. Yeah.
As is described in your notice, is a pretty simple project, we think. It's the applicant bought the property a couple of years ago, built the house that's on the lot that fronts on Newland Street, and with the idea of trying to get one more lot out of it. So what we're proposing is a private road that comes up to a hammerhead that provides the 200 feet of frontage that we need. The driveway would be not your standard road width, but it would be 18 feet wide with on either side there'd be a low impact infiltration trench to deal with whatever little bit of runoff came off of the driveway. We added, from comments, we added a proposed water connection and a sewer connection. One of the waivers we asked for was installation of major utilities. We don't want to have to run a sewer line in there just for one house. We can do a sewer connection. It would need an ejector pump. The last sheet shows everything, I believe. Same with the water connection. The road is 350 feet long. We showed a proposed building envelope that fits all within the zoning setbacks. We did have the property flagged a while back. We have not filed anything with conservation yet. To build the roadway, we're almost 200 feet away from the wetlands. We would certainly have to file with them for the house construction, site development for the lot and everything. The idea of the keeping it as a private road, looking more like a glorified driveway, really. It's more in keeping with the neighborhood and discourages people from driving in there and if it was a road. If it's just a driveway, people tend not to pull in and poke around. The hammerhead provides for the turning radiuses for your Norton fire engine. They can come in, pull in, back around, and drive back out again. Very little grade change. The road slopes from Newland Street to the rear of the road. We've got the profile pretty much matching the existing grade. I really don't know much else to add. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Basically, for the board, they're filing for a definitive plan to construct this road to create this lot, to be able to build this lot. But they are asking for basically a waiver on everything in the bylaw that we would require to construct this road, basically. Pretty much everything in the bylaw. So that's something we can go through one by one if we wish. I don't know, was there something else submitted today, did I see, or was that somebody? Oh, that was something else. We do have a list of the bylaws in the packet that they are requesting waivers for that we can go through. I'll go to the board. Anybody have any questions?
Alan, I have one. This is for the applicant, or Paul, if you can answer this. If we were filing this as an A&R and this was going to be a new driveway, would this meet the shape factor at all, or would it be close to it? Or?
Well, if this was an A&R.
Because I think the shape factor is designed to prevent like a flag lot, basically. The shape factor, basically, which is kind of what this is, which is you have a frontage here and the rest of the bulk of the lot's behind it. I mean,
Well, again, as he's very
It's a
candid
lot,
about that this
but,
is
yeah.
essentially a driveway. Would it, that, I don't know, obviously this lot does not front Newland Street, so that would be the issue, but if that road were already there, yeah, it would be a close call. I don't know if it would meet the requirement.
I'm kind of stuck in the middle on this. It's a creative way to get a lot that has zero frontage. I know we usually take every application by itself, but it is setting a precedent where we can call a road a long driveway and give it a hammerhead and not follow any of our established bylaws, basically.
This is one where it illustrates something I've thought about for a while, which is with our common driveways, we don't allow, because we do not allow common driveways to serve lots without frontage. You know, you could get a situation like this, because if they had just applied for a common driveway, it would have been a much easier, would have been a much cleaner way to go than doing this as a subdivision plan. But we don't allow it, so they didn't have that tool.
We are looking for relief on the design standards. Basically, they don't meet the street width and the grade. They meet the grade. There's no sidewalks. What's the length of this, Paul? Too? It's fairly long, correct?
350, I think.
350 feet.
350 feet. Do we have a maximum in our bylaw? Don't we?
For a
Thinking of
driveway?
for a dead end. Well, it's a road now, but it's a drive. I'm thinking of the maximum length for a dead end that we run into once in a while.
I can look that up.
Street curbing and sidewalks, open space, storm drains, basins, pretreatment, signs, street names, street lights, shade trees, erosion controls. We're basically, if we're approving it as it's stated, we're saying nothing in our bylaw basically needs to be followed while constructing. Yes, it's a driveway, but it's being presented as a road. There is a concrete driveway off the road that goes to the proposed house or the proposed building out envelope. The road will have drainage, like you stated. It will have minimal stormwater treatment on either side. You do not have to file with Concom, is what you said, correct?
Right.
Well, you need the wetlands verified.
Right.
So
you do need a ANRAD.
Well, an ANRAD.
Yeah.
At that point for them to.
Right.
Do you think you're outside of the 100-foot?
Yes.
Okay.
We're almost, the roadway construction is almost 200 feet outside of the designated wetlands.
And the house?
The house, we would have to file, it's right close to the buffer zone. We would do a notice of intent filing for the house.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Is there a, something in your zoning that would allow for that lot to have 50 feet of frontage on Newland Street and meet the shape factor and area in the back? And just,
I don't know how the math works.
Yeah, that 50 feet of frontage would usually be triggered by a small lot where it's 5,000 square feet, which
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
much
All right.
bigger than that. Yeah, our regulations, it
Yeah.
doesn't accommodate a lot like this.
All right.
And this is about the only option you would have to, if you wanted to build a second unit behind.
Right, well, the hammerhead provides the 200 feet of frontage, 50, 50, 50, and 50. It seems a waste to build a cul-de-sac there because it'll take up more area, probably limit the building envelope. So, and we've done this in other towns. It's, I know it's not standard practice, but we accommodate the public safety so they can come in and get out. We provide the frontage for the lot. And basically, it's, as I say, it's a glorified driveway and not a road, and it would remain a private way. It can't go any further because of the wetlands in the back of the lot. This is the extent of the distance in from Newland Street that it can be, so.
Alan, just for clarification, I haven't found the roadway dead end number, but we do allow common driveways up to 500.
That's what I was thinking, common driveway to 500.
So, if you think about it as a long,
common
uncommon driveway, it would be within that length requirement in terms of the standard.
I guess the only
And a
thing,
common driveway asks for a minimum cleared width of 18 feet and a minimum travel way of 12 feet, maintained along the entire length. First from a, I think you said the current plan shows 18 feet, right?
yes,
18 feet of paved.
Yeah.
18 feet of
50
pavement.
foot right of way.
Right. But so it is.
And do we have, I know we had a conversation with Water and Sewer, Paul, they're checked off in OpenGov, they're okay with not connecting? Or not?
No. They've asked the applicant to meet with them because there's water and sewer there.
Right.
And so by their regulations, there should be a connection. I guess your question, Arthur, is how you go connect to the sewer line, right?
Right, we would need a E1 ejector pump because it's all uphill. We would make it by gravity. We would come up to a clean out and then into the system.
Well, quite frankly, I'm struggling with all these waivers asked for, and now I'm struggling more with the water and sewer not being connected, and especially if the applicant was asked to reach out to them and we've had no conversation with them.
They are shown to be connected on the plan. We haven't had a chance to meet with water and sewer yet, but we did propose, we don't want to do a well on site, and we're not interested in doing a septic system on site when we know there's water and sewer available. But it's a question of why put in a 6-inch or 8-inch water line 350 feet for one house when we can put in a.
Well, how do we know if we haven't met with them?
Pardon me?
How do we know what they want if we haven't met with them? I guess is my question.
I don't follow you, I'm sorry.
You're saying how would we put in an 8-inch line? Who's saying they're gonna make you put in an 8-inch line going to a house? I don't think they would, but.
Well, that's why we're asking for the waiver of that and a waiver of a, 6 or 8-inch sewer line for the same reason for one house.
I'm
It
just,
makes no
I'm just
sense.
saying, how do we know what they're asking for if you don't meet with them first? How do we know what they're gonna require? We don't.
Well, okay.
Right. We would really want to hear from the Water and Sewer Commission over these waivers.
I think I'm more hung up on the water and sewer than I am the rest of the road at this point, even though I don't mind a few waivers here and there for a road, we do it all the time, but waiving the whole bylaw is just hard to swallow for me. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way.
I agree.
I can get away with the smaller road, but if we're gonna call it a road and we're not gonna go by any of our bylaws, we're gonna have applicant after applicant doing the same thing, is how I'm looking at it. I think for the bare minimum, we have to have them meet with water and sewer.
Yeah.
And see how that outcome is. That would at least make it a little bit more firm in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else has any opinions. Tim, Rob, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
No,
If no one else on the board, I'll go to members of the public, which is dwindling quickly. And don't see anyone online with a hand raised at this point.
We do.
There is a?
Yeah.
Hi.
The name's Kelly Kosh. If you want to just unmute and state your name and address for the record, please.
Absolutely. My name is Kelly Kosh. I live at 118 Newland Street. I'm diagonal to the property. And I just have a quick question. I'm wondering, is this a residential property or is it a business property? Has that been declared in these plans? And I ask that only because of the speeding problem we have on Newland Street. We already have quite a few people that use it as a cut-through street, and I noticed that there are some vans that are parked there. And if the driveway will be used for those vans as well, for this other property, this other house, I just wanted to be thoughtful about that because there's the speed in which people go up and down the street. I don't know if there's enough visibility for those vans to get in and out safely.
I'm not sure which vans you're talking about. We will ask the applicant, but they are proposing a residential use.
It's residential zone, it's a residential use that's being proposed. And the road
I
is.
see, okay. I thought it was a business since there were white vans that are typically parked in that parking lot. Okay, thank you.
Do you know anything about the white vans?
Pardon me?
Do you know anything about white vans parked
No.
there, just to,
Not us.
gotcha. Somebody else.
No, it's the front house, the front lot. They usually have wheelchair accessible ramps and vans, and I just was wondering if it was residential. That was why I asked the question.
Okay,
In a house. But thank you, that helps me understand.
thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? If not, my recommendation would be to continue this to either our next meeting or the meeting after, so the applicant can meet with water and sewer, and maybe we can digest all these waivers they're asking for, and or come up with a way to make this more palatable. I heard an by somebody.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh.
I was thinking. Yeah.
I'm struggling with it.
Yeah, I guess. Paul, you mind if I throw something on screen?
Sure.
Just looking at. This doesn't necessarily apply to a road, but just as a guiding principle, I'm looking at 175.69 in our bylaws. Basically say, don't make an unusually gerrymandered lot if the shape is solely an attempt to meet lot size requirements. It's not necessarily a size requirement, it's a configuration requirement, but it's still like this is the only tool he has to do it, to do what he's trying to do, given how our bylaws are set up. But I feel like we're getting away from the spirit a little bit here. I'm fine continuing to see the further discussion, but it's kind of where my head's at right now.
And also, I don't mind the house going there. I just wish there was a better way to do it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
There's, like Paul was saying, there's many lots in this town that would have the same problem. Not enough frontage, no way to access the buildable land on the rear of their lots. That's why we have dimensional requirements in the bylaws and ways to get there. Our next meetings are September 9th and 23rd. Would you prefer either or?
23rd.
23rd. So the chair would entertain a motion to continue definitive plan 2, 125 Newland Street to September 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Eric, second by Bridget. Roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bridget? Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. We'll see you on the 23rd. Next item on our agenda is special permit 27, 324 East Main Street, unit number 5. The owner is 324 East Main Street LLC. The applicant is Adam Doucette. The applicant is seeking to establish a dog training and kennel business.
And Mr. Chair, we have successfully put the infant to sleep
I was
with
just
our
going to say
meeting.
that, you stole my thunder.
Sorry.
Completely.
Thank
You're going
you.
to come
Thank
back
you for
every
that.
night and sit with us to let the baby sleep.
I'm going to.
Running through the little
Yep.
PowerPoint real quick and then. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time tonight. So yes, requesting a special permit for 324 East Main Street. It is a 5-bay commercial unit. Requesting for Bay 5, which is an end unit. So once, they're pretty short. I'll kind of just like run through them if you want to. So this is Nextdoor Canine Solutions of Massachusetts. This would be an expansion from an existing franchise, mainly in the southeast. Thank you.
Okay.
I am a Norton born and raised myself. I've been training in the industry for about a decade now. Been born and raised here. I'd love to keep business in the town and continue to help the community, give back in that way I can. I already spoke on that. Go to the next one, Paul.
Okay.
Thank you. Just a general overview, more of the day-to-day operation. So we will be servicing families all across New England. We specialize in obedience, agility, puppy training, and rehab training. We are expecting 6 to 8 dogs a month to train in our facility. We'd probably stay in the vicinity of the 3 to 4 on a 2-week basis. During open hours, which will be 7 days a week, dogs will be supervised by myself and staff. When the dogs are staying there overnight, there will be no staff present. Dogs will always wear air tags that has built-in GPS tracking anytime, so 24/7, whether we're there or not overnight, we'll always have GPS location on them. And we do have very spacious runs, crates for them to be housed in overnight, which of course will be constantly checked for function and safety. Interior plan, so it's a wide open 1,500 square foot bay. There is a door in the back, and there's a shared there's a double door that comes into the building to a shared hallway, and then we would be the door at the end of that hallway. At both of those doors that come into the facility, we would have a double gate, double door setup, which would just always ensure the safety of dogs potentially slipping out of the facility, whether it's either doors, if someone were to ever come through the door unexpected. For all the dog safety, we are looking to install most likely an epoxy floor, which of course would be safe for the dogs, safe for staff, keep the facility clean. Of course, we're looking to install security cameras inside and outside, which would monitor motion and sound 24/7. Again, crates and runs while the dogs are resting overnight. Very up-to-date equipment, very safe, very comfortable for the dogs. And then again, most of the open space facility indoor area would just be used for training, setting up training equipment, and then just housing the dogs. And then I was able to, was going back and forth with the landlord a little bit, because next to the bay unit outside of the building, there is a pretty good sized grassed area. So I was discussing with him a fenced in area to get the dogs outside, and that would of course include outdoor training, play, and bathroom breaks. I sent him a plan for a 25 by 35, I went there and measured it out, foot fence. Fence of course would be 6 feet high with mesh privacy covering, just to kind of blend in a little better. The only access to that would be from the back of the unit, which would just be a short trip out the back door. I think I put it on that other drawing. Just out the back door, maybe a 10-15 foot walk just over to the outdoor gated area where we can get the dogs out there. Of course, we will have security on that area as well. Of course, whether we're indoors or outdoors, any dog will always be accompanied by staff, supervised for safety and everything like that. And then as far as some hours, some day-to-day, we will run 7 to 7, 7 days a week. Myself and staff will be there pretty much all day. We will go through with every dog. We have a very specific game plan for every dog. We go through numerous training sessions throughout the day with plenty of play, relaxation, and bathroom breaks. Of course, again, dogs will always be supervised by staff. Thinking maybe the fencing one.
Sure. The fence is the picture. Which?
This one.
Oh, it's the image. Okay,
The
sorry.
image, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've got it. Should have changed it from IMG. A real descriptor. Here we go.
My wonderful artwork.
Clearly, you've been in my downloads folder.
Wonderful. So this is I'm a dog trainer, not an artist. But I went there and kind of did a rough estimate as to Bay 5 on the left would be the last unit of the facility. That would be the end of the building. I did note that there were some gas meters far up on the end that way. And then down there, pavement kind of in the left bottom corner, that would be the kind of corner of the parking lot. I think there's some small rocks separating. I think that's where the trash section is. So then pretty much following that arrow out from the facility, be a quick little wraparound into the door right there. That would be the 35 by 25 foot fence location. All around that fence is pretty much an open grass area. And then on that right side, pretty much along the whole grass, along the whole property is a tree line that would provide some nice shelter on that side. Of course, it'd be 6 feet high, it'd be very safe. We would do the double gate system out there as well, so it'd never be just one door, for safety for the dogs, for staff, everything like that. And providing just the mesh privacy again to kind of blend in a little bit. And of course, security cameras on this location as well. And then I guess just overall, this would be a very moderate operation. Biggest thing I consider looking at this stuff is nuisance, traffic issues, things like that. For the volume we're going to be having and the way we do it, it's going to be a half a dozen more or less a month. All of those clients, they are all for a board and train, which can variate from 2 to 4 weeks. And that is the clients dropping them off at the beginning of the program. They are housed overnight with us till the end of the program, and the clients come pick them up. So as far as traffic or any nuisance like that, we'd have almost no one coming in there at all. Just be myself, just one vehicle for the 2 parking spots we have. And then as far as decency to surrounding tenants, things like that, wouldn't be a big operation to provide nuisance barking issues, things like that, or any crazy kind of commotion going on throughout the day.
At least not after they're done with the program.
Until they're done with the program. And that's why they come to training, so we get them good.
I guess my only 2 really questions, Paul, if you think we would need to see that fenced-in area on a site plan, I guess is... I can't think of I don't know. Usually if...
We could certainly put a condition in there.
We're not ruling on a site plan, just special permits, right?
It's just
Right,
a special
this is
permit.
just a special
but-
permit. But we can certainly...
I guess then, other than that, my only question is there any noise mitigation for the other tenants? I'm sure your landlord will be.
Some of them are even, I'm not even sure if they're like a full day operation. So, I mean, half the building seems vacant some days. Other times it's, we do see a couple neighboring tenants, but.
This is the front building, correct? Not the back
This
one?
is the front building, yes. So again, I think with our volume and for the amount of time we're there with them, we certainly wouldn't have 10 hours a day of dogs barking and no one there to help them.
And it's no one going to bother overnight if there's a dog barking. It doesn't seem your closest neighbor is nowhere close.
Right.
There is a house across the street. But
Directly across, I doubt they'll hear a dog in the building.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm never going to make an assumption. I really don't have any other questions outside that. I'll go to the board if anyone has any questions. Rob, you have anything?
No, I'm good. I'm
Just
sorry.
making sure you're still awake.
Oh, no, I am. This is exciting, man.
Paul, just to restate, there's no special for the kennel. It's a permit required, but we're just defaulting to our standard special permit conditions of satisfying existing need and
Right.
all those.
Yes. No specific conditions for it.
I see no other questions from the member of the board. Any member of the public here in person would like to speak? If you could step up to the podium, name and address, and then any questions, if you direct it to us, we'll ask. If we can't answer them, we'll ask the applicant for you.
Marilyn Banaski, 325 East Main Street. I'm across the street. I have a lot of concerns about the noise. And I've lived there, well, my family's lived in Norton since 1901. We've been residents of Norton, active residents. And when I bought the house in 1968, there were conditions attached to our deeds, no kennels. And that was for the properties for the 13 houses along that area. His side of the road is industrial, and that's why they need a special permit, because the kennel is not industrial, but that's zoned industrial. And our houses are all zoned residential. So that's our concern. And he may not be concerned that, you know, they're going to make noise at night or early in the morning or when they're outside, but we're concerned. And that's my major concern. I don't like barking or yapping dogs at all hours of the morning or the night or the day. Okay?
I understand.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you want to respond at all, I think you had stated your intentions. If the dogs are outside, they're going to be with a trainer.
Yes.
And inside, is there any type of vestibule or anything inside that's going to separate where the dogs are going to be sleeping from, like, the front of the building? I'm just looking for another buffer in my mind that would...
So we hadn't planned on anything like that. There is the kind of hallway separation at the front of the building. Besides that, then it's just the open access once we get into the bay.
Is it drywalled on the front? I know it's a metal building, so I'm trying to picture what type of
It's actually got
insulation.
the, I think it's a combination of drywall in the hallway area, and then in the actual bay, it's the heavy-duty insulation with that kind of wrap.
Yeah.
But I think even just the distance off the street as well, it wouldn't be right there on the street projecting, I think, anywhere too far. For any surrounding tenant, also, I think, again, due to the volume, we wouldn't have a 6 a.m., 50 dogs outside, barking, going crazy, getting ready to start the day. Same thing inside. We again, I am there, and I live 15 minutes from the property as well. We'll be there pretty much all day into the night. And again, that's the purpose of the security cameras installments as well, not only for safety and everything like that, but for also myself to see what may be going on, getting over there to address anything if I need to, whether that's late at night, early in the morning, to do whatever I can to help keep things at bay. But again, I think just the volume, 3 or 4 dogs at a time, I think it will be able to keep things under control. We're a training facility, not a daycare, so if we have dogs that are barking, we get that very quickly taken care of for our clients. But I think due to the smaller size, we would be able to manage that pretty well.
Yeah, I'm really not concerned in my mind about the barking on the inside. I don't think would be reaching across the street. I think the only thing would be in the fenced-in area. It's not like you're not going to have a playtime where you're going to let out 5 dogs in there
Correct.
to play at a time. It's more of a training area on the outside.
Correct. And so it would be, everything would be done one by one. So all these dogs are in training. So last thing, they all have their own things we're working on. Last thing we want to do is throw them all out there and see what happens. So it'd be one-on-one, 1 dog per staff out there supervised. If we have barking, we deal with it. Any type of issue at all, we deal with it. So right, never a big commotion, 50 dogs outside screaming and yelling.
So really, if we had something different in our bylaw, this really isn't a kennel. It's really a overnight training. But again, with many other things in our bylaw, we have to fit it into some type of title, and this is what we can fit it under.
Right, right.
Any other members of the board, any other questions or concerns?
Mr. Chair, just a comment.
Go ahead.
With our current zoning bylaw, kennels or veterinary hospitals are allowed by right in R80. They're allowed by right in commercial and special permit in industrial and village commercial. No in R60, R40, or center core. But
If there's no other question or comments from the board or the public, the pleasure of the board, we can close this public hearing and discuss further if the applicant's
Sure.
satisfied. If there's no other questions, the chair would entertain a motion to close the public hearing on special permit 27 for 324 East Main Street, Unit.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Roll call vote. Tim?
yes.
Ken? Ken? Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
So just to confirm, because I couldn't hear Ken, did he say yes?
He abstained.
Or you abstained? Okay.
Pleasure of the board.
Wait, what? Oh.
So in
what do you
terms
mean?
of, we've closed the public hearing.
We've closed the
Oh,
public
yeah,
hearing.
yeah.
We can,
Think there's anything to continue that we're asking for at this meeting?
as far as special conditions, I don't think there's anything special other than our regular conditions that we'd be looking to add to this. There's nothing really we can condition on noise. There's nothing on the, we're not required to have a site plan. We've gone over his business plan, his hours of operation, his location.
Paul, would you want two separate votes?
Yeah, so I guess this is my other question, Paul. Was this in the water resource protection also?
Oh, it is.
It is.
Yes.
So there's
So I
no,
would do two separate votes.
so there's no,
There's no new construction.
there's no new construction, and we're going back to the plans that are in file from when this building was built. When was that? It's not too long ago.
Well, it was approved in 2018,
2018.
and then I think it was constructed by 20.
And so we'll note those plans on the,
I had uploaded them.
correct, and we'll note those on the decision.
Yeah. And this is essentially an amendment to, well, we
Modif-
have to tie it, I'll tie it back to this.
Internally, it's tied back to this, but it's,
Yeah,
could be a modification, but not really.
right. It's
Many
a
uses.
use issue, not a, but I'll tie it back to the 2018 decision.
So two separate votes on this. The first vote we're looking for would be special permit to allow a kennel
In industrial.
in the industrial zone. The chair would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve SB 27 for the kennel and industrial zone
Second.
With our standard conditions,
with standard conditions.
Still second.
we have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Tim?
Since it abuts R80 and it's allowed by right in R80, I'm going to say yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Next special permit is to allow this use in a water resource protection district. And again, this ties back to the building when it was constructed, and we'd still have our standard conditions, Paul.
Correct.
So the
So
chair,
moved.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Baby. Away goes the baby.
Next item on our agenda is a zoning bylaw update review for table 3.2, section 8.4, and section 11. These were some items outstanding on our constant update of our new zoning bylaw that hopefully will pass at town meeting in the fall. Paul, do you want to pull it up, or how do you
Yeah.
want
I'm just, I should say, Eric had a few comments he sent earlier this afternoon that we can go over as part of this. But what I've done was just, we had some remaining issues from our, what is this, our fifth meeting, I think? So
Or 20th, one or the other.
20th altogether, right? Between, but so I just wanted to go through these remaining issues. We just need you to just get resolution on it. I do want to point out in 2 weeks is the public hearing where you will start your hearing process to make a recommendation at town meeting.
That's the 9th?
Notice went out.
That's the 9th. Just confirming. Okay.
Yeah, and the notice did go out in the paper today, and it'll go out next Tuesday as well. So that's out there, and
We're going to make sure all the other boards know, obviously, right? Select board will notify. And
right.
And while I think of it, because I wanted to bring it up tonight, not that it goes right now, but when do you think's appropriate to do a joint meeting?
I need to talk to the town manager about that, but it needs to happen in September.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely.
And which town manager do we have to talk to?
Manager start?
It'll probably be the new one, I assume, but
When does it start?
the new town manager starts Tuesday. And I
Okay.
saw on Select Board's agenda that they're going to have a meet and greet next Thursday. with
September
him.
4th.
Yeah, so I should start off by saying that the ZBA, they met last week and they were okay with the non-conforming issue, but they also said, how can we help? So I've given Tom Noel some thoughts about coming to the next meeting, which is the public hearing, and whether they are here in person or write comments. I think it's important, since they're the other board that uses the zoning bylaw, for them to publicly state it, but they're supportive of it.
And if Mr. Bailey really is bored that night?
I'm sorry?
If Mr. Bailey is bored that night too, he's going to be an advocate for us, I believe.
Let's hope. We need all the advocates we can get for it, but again, as I look through this, it's such a significant improvement, and I just see this as, in most cases, just a good tightening up of the regulations, giving more clarity, giving both boards, I think, more authority. But with that, what I'd like to do is just go through the remaining issues. There's just a handful of them. And so this falls under the use table. And one question that came up, and I'm thankful to Eric for bringing this up, because then I realized something. On the multifamily dwelling table, as we actually didn't allow multifamily with 5 or more units to be allowed in any category, we are by default now saying, other than in the MBTA, you could only do up to 4 units. And I know that was by design. I really think you need to reconsider that. Because if you're not if you're not within the MBTA zoning district, we're going to tell people you have to do either 4 units or you have to do commercial. I think that's strict. I don't think this is reacting. It's not flexible, and markets, this could create a problem, I think. And then Eric had the point of, well, if we don't allow the 5 units anywhere, we should increase line 3 to say up to 6 units.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of, like I said, I think we went a little too strict, and I think the compromise would be just, let them go to 3 stories, essentially, no bigger. We're still capping. We don't have a 5+ anymore, but we're capping it within what I believe still can fit within the residents, and within those zones, and still be able to look as it's a part of those areas. But yeah, restricting just to 4 or top of the shop or nothing, essentially, I think that's a step too far. I mean, I get the sentiment, but I think it's a step too far. Especially, we literally just went through MBTA, and I think there is. Well, I don't necessarily appreciate the process we were forced to go through. I do think the general idea of just giving a little slack to this is appropriate.
So we're talking about in that row 4, changing that red end to PB?
I think the suggestion is to change the 4 to 6 in row 3. And at the last meeting or one of the previous meetings, we changed that N that's shaded. Basically, Cap said so. We're, yeah. Is it okay, Eric? I think if I want to think on it.
No, it's fine.
bad?
There's a couple. It's just one of those things it kept bugging me in the back of the brain, and then when the number kind of popped up, I'm like, okay, I think this makes sense, but I think we're being too restrictive on this. Like this to my mind, if we're going to just wipe out number 4 and leave number 3 as is, to me, the town should vote on that, not us make that decision for them. But if we kind of give the wiggle room back by going up to 6, again, I think that helps in a lot of different areas. But yeah, no, definitely worth thinking about.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it, and quite honestly, we were this deep, I'd try to have if possible, the whole board vote on it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I was honestly disappointed when Steve wasn't here, so I want the full discussion.
Yeah. No, we'll see.
Yeah, and I guess if you decided to allow by special permit 5 or more units, do we then amend 3 to go to 6 or keep it at 4? And my inclination is probably keep it at 4 if we change
If we go back
4
to-
units, if we keep number 4, if we move number 4 to a special permit, but if we don't change number 4 to a special permit, I think going to 6 units. Although,
I mean,
the
Change
question
number
is,
4
would you want 6 units in R40?
No.
No, I mean, I'd also be okay if number 4 became 5 or 6 units and VC by permit. I think we need that in there in some form or fashion. I don't want developers going right to MBTA.
I'll be honest, I was fine with strict, but we could change 4 to special permit, row 4 to special permit there.
I mean, I wouldn't change row 4 to special permit across the board.
In VC.
If
Just
we
in
can,
VC.
yeah, if we, like I said, I would be comfortable if we change VC back to permit, and then, but instead of 5 or more, we put 5 or 6.
Did we change that last meeting or the meeting before?
It was the last meeting.
Was it the last meeting? Yeah.
The spirit was, we just created a new multifamily district. We don't need it other places.
Yeah.
Was the.
I don't think we need to raise the number, but, I'm actually fine with leaving it where it is. But if we were going to do something, changing that red end, row 4 VC to special permit, I could live with that.
That's what it was originally, right?
Or just maybe following Eric's thought, 5 or 6 to me is still, maybe 5 to 10.
That's a lot for.
I think that if you put a number bigger than 6, that gets a lot really scary really fast.
I'm talking about for number 4.
I know. That's what I mean. As soon as 5 or 6, I think is digestible. If you go above 6, I think you're going to run into problems. So again, part of this is.
I think you've calibrated public perception correctly in your head.
Yeah. I'm trying to put all because A, I don't want to go through this again.
Sure.
B, I do have a general idea of what the public's looking for, but what we're doing, part of the public perception was we were changing too much, and I don't and again, I don't think this should be necessarily not approved by the town if it went to a vote. But if we're going to change it that much, like I said, I would almost rather put it back to where it was and let the town vote on it. Otherwise, but the other side of it is, again, we just went through MBTA, and I really don't want to put that much of restriction on there. I think that's relying solely on MBTA would have developers become creative and start using MBTA. So, so I rather a little looser, because I don't think that's the best move for the direction of the town.
If someone were to ask me what direction does the town want to go in general, just by the feel of the public and what I've heard by public boards and public comments, is less building, less housing, less of everything.
Yeah.
If you had to drill down to what every public comment that we've heard is, that would be the only way I could describe it. There's always going to be development. Landowners have rights to develop under our bylaws, but as far as public view go, I think being more restrictive is where we're being told to go, in my opinion.
It is.
Which kind of contradicts what we heard in the master plan, but I mean, it was a different audience. It was a different audience.
Different audience. I'm just saying
Yeah.
public temperature right now, what I
Very high.
Yeah,
feel.
no, you're correct. But that day comes when someone wants to do 10 units, a 10-unit complex on, 140, and we go, got to add commercial to it. Oh, I can't, there's no market for it. Okay, you can't do it. I mean, that's what will very likely happen. It's a trade-off, that's all.
What else do we have to?
Yeah, I was going to say we got to keep that open, stew on it a little
All right.
bit, and
We'll get to this RV, but I think I mentioned it at the last meeting, the definition. Well, we'll get to the definition. Okay, so we still had this remaining here. The warehouse, storage, and distribution facilities. We haven't really, do we want that in village commercial by special permit or no? And I think, Steve's point here was village commercial warehousing and self-storage facilities are not indicative of what's in village commercial, what you would want to see there.
I agree with that. I would be inclined to put a no there, but if they wanted to make a special permit, so on a case-by-case basis, we look, and someone's got a scenario where we think it's reasonable, I'm open to.
Right now, it's changing from permit to no, correct?
Yes.
So it's one of those, we previously said put it as a no, but leave as open.
Yeah, you were still.
I don't see a reason to, yeah. I haven't changed my opinion.
I have trouble picturing a situation which we would be voting yes on that if it was coming before us, but.
I'm imagining something small, like that's behind like the U-Haul in Attleboro or something like
That's
that.
what I mean. Somebody came up with something where I'm going, oh, okay, yeah, that's not too bad,
Like that's kind of village commercially.
Yeah. I always feel like a PB is almost a no because it seems like something we'd be saying no to a lot. But if you want to just lock it in as no, I'm okay with that too.
do we want to do a straw poll? How does everyone feel?
I'm fine leaving it open, but leaving the default as no right now.
I'm fine with leaving it as a no.
Fine.
I'm okay with that.
Undecided?
I mean, if I'm undecided, I'd rather keep it open without the no, but I don't have a strong argument.
I think the temperature is keep it as a no, but maybe leave it. We can talk about it maybe one more time, but it's
We can talk about it.
pretty a firmly definite maybe no.
Well, if we feel like we're going to be voting no to every time anything like that came through trying to get pushed into a village commercial, then just having the end there saves us, frankly, saves us meetings where we're gonna say no anyways.
Well, my only pushback to that is, we might normally say no, but we don't know what the future boards might want. So,
Well, I agree. Never say never was my reason for even saying leave it in there. We would decide on a case by case basis.
Yeah, I mean,
I have trouble picturing it, but never say never. That's kind of how I.
Okay. So this was one Steve and I had a discussion over, the neighborhood shop. I did research, and I found some bylaws and some articles written about that include more regulations over it, like hours of operation and things like that. Steve was just literally trying to be more of an accessory use, but he did indicate that he would be okay bringing this back at a future, with a future bylaw change. Hopefully we get this grant to do an economic development study, which would look at uses and dimensional requirements to try to promote it. This is probably, if this is probably another one of those uses that if we have it the way we have it, there's going to be people upset by it.
agreed.
And I think there are some good standards out there, but we haven't touched all of them here.
is this equal to the corner store?
Yeah. I mean, he would not limit it to just the corners, but the concepts are still the same. He did not like the locational requirements. I think they're real important, but he would need to be here to describe his issue. But I think at this point I think he was okay taking it out for now, but with the promise that we would bring this back at a future meeting.
I think that makes sense. Take it out now, but write something up for the next town meeting.
Is the suggestion here just lose the entire line for now because we don't feel it's defined well enough?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I'm in favor of that. I don't think we do have it defined well enough.
Well, it just completely took it out. I don't know what it just did, but
Control Z.
It's gone.
let me.
Because it's a new ad, it doesn't show
Just
as a
right
track
through,
change
right?
when you remove it.
True. Yep. Okay.
You're just gonna change it all to no for now, or completely delete it?
I would just take it out.
Yeah.
Just take it out, and we might want to just take the definition out, just to keep it out. But bring it back. We'll have this. Okay. This next one. Again, this is one we decided the last meeting. Eric has identified a concern about. This is the one with multiple buildings in our commercial districts. So where we landed last time was we could have multiple top of the shop and mixed use developments. And the discussion is, could we also just include multiple multifamily buildings were allowed? Did I capture that, Eric?
More or less, yeah. Again, it's kind of, I think this is maybe just a step too far, being restrictive. Again, I can understand the sentiment, but I don't think that restriction is actually necessary.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Of course.
What stops the building owner from splitting the lots into two? Nothing.
Especially if all separate.
So I don't see it I don't see this as a crazy hurdle.
Well, I think the issue would be lot size.
Yeah.
That they might not be, or frontage that they wouldn't be able to do it. This would give them more flexibility to do it.
Right. But if they can't meet the lot size for multiple buildings, why do they have multiple buildings? I know you're trying to find ways to be more dense. I'm just
Well, in the right areas.
right. So,
I mean,
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it as written.
Yeah, I think it's an improvement over the current language.
That housing for the elderly is strucken out, right? My eyes are bugging out.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that total percentage of lot coverage that is standard in across those zones, or are we?
That's in the code right now.
That's in the code right
Yeah. Everything's the same other than the strike through and underline.
I think I'm fine with it.
Keep it the way it is.
That would be my vote.
You mean with the track changes included? Is that what you're saying, Alan?
With how that,
Like
With
how it's
what
written.
you
With how-
did last meeting.
how it's written.
How it appears right now with the track changes.
Yeah.
What you're saying?
That's what you approve. That's
Yeah,
what you voted
correct.
on.
3-1 as
With the-
seen on the screen.
With the strike through.
So everything struck through, just don't read it. If you read the rest, I think it's fine as the way it says.
Okay, we're almost there. There weren't many. Okay, here's Eric. I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is something where, again, I think this one I think is actually outside the process we've been asked to do. That we're kind of adding a new law, new bylaw about the transit stops. Now, I'd be more comfortable if it said more of a softer may than a shall type situation. But I mean, Oren brought it up and kind of been thinking of it ever since. I think he's right. I think this one goes beyond modernization, clarification, and state mandates, and this goes into something that the town should be allowed to vote on to put in there or not. Again, I'd be comfortable if this was more phrased as a may, kind of like a reminder to prospective projects, future planning boards in the town. But as written, I don't think I don't think that belongs in there at this point. Though I would definitely support seeing it at the next town, either same town meeting and at a later point in the night or a future town meeting.
And keep in mind the warrant article deadline is Thursday.
That's just for the placeholder, right?
The placeholder.
Yeah, that doesn't.
That's fine.
Just saying.
Yeah.
We're probably beyond the point of creating new warrant.
Well, I mean, somebody can
articles.
always bring it up if they really want to. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I don't think this particular one. I don't want this in there, and it's people being like, why did you add that without letting us talk about it?
I think I agree with Eric on this. So I'm reading it. Why?
I don't feel strongly about it either way, quite honestly. I don't think it's too restrictive. I don't think it's too crazy.
I wouldn't have a fit if I got outvoted, but I think I do lean toward what Eric's saying.
Unless something crazy goes on at town meeting, this is one or all. We're not gonna be, if it starts with flow motions and everything, I don't know how exactly it's gonna go, but it's quite possible there could be flow motions to change the language, but we, as a planning board, we don't want to be doing that.
I'm not gonna fight hard if we want to pull it out and save it for another day. I'm not sure if we're compiling these in a separate file.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Future use?
Yeah, exactly. Like the corner, the neighborhood shop. I mean, honestly, I kind of want to get by this process so we can do stuff like that. Like, look at corner shops, look at this, and propose changes that aren't 170 pages long.
So strike through.
Strike.
Strike.
It might delete itself if you do that. Yeah, there you go.
Yay.
And then are we on to RVs? Or is there anything else?
We're almost there.
You keep saying that. the Ts.
Okay, what is this?
ADUs, water.
Oh,
sewer.
this is one I still have not heard from the AG's office about this issue of whether we can require separate water and sewer and other utility connections. This was something that staff had brought up. I've sent multiple emails to the AG's office, but they haven't responded. But hey, we did get a response from them today on our MBTA, and we're good. So at this point, I wouldn't. Hopefully, we will hear something before our next meeting on this. I'll keep plugging away at it.
If we don't, we take it out, because I'm pretty sure I read and heard or saw it in a meeting somewhere that you cannot.
Oh, okay. Well, if you find that,
I don't know where. It was another town. It was another town discussion. I forget exactly, but it's in my mind that you cannot require that. Mainly because I said, I think in the last meeting, it's not designed to have a separate address. It's going to be the same address.
it'll be a B.
It'll be a B, and you're not allowed to have multiple utility collections to the same address. I believe that's the answer.
Sounds right.
I know that. I know you cannot have multiple utility connections for one address.
So moving on here, neighborhood shop, again, we're going to move that. Should we take the definition out too?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
Otherwise
we
it's
probably
confusing.
also want to look at things like occupancy limits. That's typically in building code. And I get where he's coming from, and the intent is to try to keep this, very small scale. But
Kind of like the Tasties, right?
well, Tasty's is probably bigger than this. But anyway, last one is the last one is this RV. So we had, when we originally submitted, I was talking with Ed Bailey, the building commissioner, we had it as 30 days or less, would require a special permit, but upon hearing your concern about that, we're like, oh yeah, that does make sense. How about if we just say that it's a special permit's triggered if a person is living there for 30 days or more? And it's living there. Ed did make the point, if someone's storing their RV, no one's living in it, that's not this. That's fine, they can do that. But if they're hooked up or someone's clearly showing that someone's living there, then if they're there more than 30 days, then they need to, a special permit would need to be filed.
I think I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that allows for Cousin Eddie, but no further.
The 30 days long enough, I guess, yeah.
Okay, well, that's all we had on there, unless someone else has something they want to revisit. Oh, Cher, I think that was your line, not me. Sorry. I should say, I'm done with my presentation.
That's
Cher.
mine for the end of the meeting.
I'm actually just kind of wondering, maybe just for Alpha, I don't know if it's appropriate, Jared, definitely let me know, but I'm just kind of wondering how people are feeling about it at this point. We're almost done. So I'm just wondering how people are feeling about the recodification, where it's at.
I want to hear from FinCom and Select Board. FinCom, I believe, voted unanimously for it last time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then not unanimously
That's right.
at town meeting.
And I believe the select board was similar circumstances as well.
Correct.
So I would appreciate a joint meeting.
We will set up a
Much
joint
so.
meeting as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I would like it to be already, or very soon, but I don't think that's going to happen. But we're just going to have to push.
Town meetings, when is it? 19th, 13th?
Okay.
Get a yippee with a couple people.
October.
Existing voting.
Oh, the 20th.
Okay.
Why don't we talk tomorrow? I'm not quite clear what you're. That's okay. Just make a note.
We'll push for a joint meeting as early as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
When's our language? I mean, if there's anything substantial comes from the joint meeting, are we going to have opportunity to change the language? I guess is what we need to really buffer for.
Yeah.
We need to have that time. When's our
When's fine?
final
So,
language date?
I've got a few dates here. So so next week is next meeting, September 9th, is the first public hearing for your recommendation, and then hopefully toward the end of September will be the joint. It's early October where the final language is.
So we got some weeks in there.
Yeah, we're in good shape. I mean,
Please don't say that.
We're on track.
We're on track.
No, you're acting like pre-2004 Red Sox fans, which I'm still very much that.
Can we just confirm that the final language is due after our meeting on the 7th?
October?
Yes.
Yeah, I have it. I just didn't transfer it here.
Yeah. If it's due October 3rd,
Right.
then that's one thing. If it's due October 9th, then we still have our meeting on
Have
the
that
7th.
meeting on the
to
7th.
Yeah.
Any final nips and tucks.
And I don't know that we've even set that yet.
Meetings that far out.
That's for the town manager to figure out.
Yeah, it was like with the Red Sox when they get a base hit. That's what it's kind of one way or the other, but it's early October.
I think we only set
So,
meetings until the end of October.
I'll get that clarified.
You're October when the Red Sox aren't playing anymore. We can't.
If we're all good with that, Paul, we'll move on to our final item for discussion. You good, Paul?
Yes.
Final item for today, review of the open meeting law complaint filed by Mrs. Kelly Gallagher and discuss the response. So I think you've probably seen in the file, we got an open meeting law complaint specific to a few of our meetings, but more specific to the July 22nd meeting for the language that we used discussing what we're going to be discussing for the zoning bylaw update or the recodification process. Has everyone read the meeting complaint? And has everyone read the town council response?
Yes.
Yes.
Paul, is there anything you want to say, or do we want to basically give town council head nod? Yes, we want to use this language. We want to add to this language, or
Right, but he also did say we should summarize Ms. Gallagher's letter. So you mentioned there were concerns about the terminology we used on one of the agendas, calling it recodification, not accurately reflecting what was going on. There was also a concern she raised that with the strike-through underline, that we should have had pros and cons for each change that was made. And also, she believed that we should be mailing out notices to all properties about these changes. So I think that summarizes her letter.
so I believe we have addressed a few of them. We kind of gone away from, and we did it almost from the beginning. In the last few meetings, we've been definitely referring to everything as a zoning bylaw update. We've been, I thought, pretty good about specifying what tables and what sections we would be discussing. We follow open meeting law rule of noticing. I don't think it's, never mind in the budget or possible to mail a hard copy to everybody.
And it's not a requirement.
It's not required, so we're not going to do it if it's not required.
And the same is true of the pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
That we're not required to do that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
regarding, the wording in the agenda, if we wanted to take an improvement opportunity, I would take it from there. I think the spirit, we haven't violated the spirit of anything. If she wants to get into the letter, I was reading that statement and, just recodification discussion, things like that. I'll admit the word recodification was a new one to me,
If you look it up, though, Rob, there is like 10 different definitions depending on where you look of recodification, and a simple Webster's dictionary definition of it is the act of recodifying something. So, yeah, it depends what you're looking up, what definition you're using. It's semantics as far as I'm concerned. It is a different word not used in daily life, 100%. We heard at town meeting that no one liked that. We were
Right.
pretty proactive about changing it.
And that's what I'm getting at. We could maybe tweak that wording in the.
We already have.
We-
We're not referring it to recodification anymore. 2 meetings ago, we changed to zoning bylaw update.
And even on tonight's agenda, it was zoning bylaw update, and the notice that was in today's paper also used similar language. We didn't use recodification. A couple of
Well,
things.
I agree. Putting bylaw update is clear enough. That was the point I was trying to make, the recodification word, because she's referring to the recodification discussion. I think she said it right in her complaint.
So
There was also a couple notes in her letter. One was, there was specific people that we emailed about our changes and what we're making. We have a small email list of people that have spoken at meetings that we push it out to just to keep them informed. I'm pretty
Right.
sure we'd do that to anybody if anyone wanted to get on that list.
Didn't
I'm
know where
fairly
that would
sure
be
we
coming
would.
Right, we're just trying to take all the different avenues we can take to bring people here. So yes, I did email, blind copied a number of people who spoke at town meeting and some other people who've subsequently wanted to get noticed. So I sent them copies. I used social media. And by the way, in the social media posts, we said zoning update. And I get, it doesn't get directly to her point that the agenda said it, but the social media posts were clearly said zoning bylaw updates. And then also, I just want to just for the record show, I've been maintaining this this page, this working page that with the social media posts, I link to it all with every post, and it says right up there, it's a bylaw update, and then talks a bit about the purpose of what the changes are, and then click here for the latest drafts. It goes to Dropbox. I have all the drafts there, even tonight's.
And just for the information,
This
this
is the strike. This is the red line.
Well, just to be clear, in my own opinion, I've been observing, you've handled this just fine.
Well,
to be clear.
I appreciate that, but I just want to be on the record with this. And the other thing too, also, I post all the videos, the links to the videos, and I tell them what mark to go to so they don't have to sit through 1 hour and 2 minutes to find it. So I'm trying to do everything I can to make it as easy as possible for people to see this and to
And
get
I'll work with
information
you,
on it.
I'll work with you to use resources I happen to have. We can make this as loud as we want, but also, the stuff here, like, she was making a reference in that letter saying, because one of the planning board members was really telling people they should come to the meetings if they want to have input. And then, she went on to say then it wasn't clear when that would be. But if you take a look, and Paul, I sent you screen prints of them, the person that was chirping about that was me. I was doing it on Norton Neighbors. That's what she's referring to. And I was saying, people, if they want to have input, we invite them, that they should come here. And Paul, you saw when I was posting the agenda, for people to see, my commentary up there states that much, I don't just say recodification. I think I actually did say it's to discuss bylaw changes. So if she saw my chirping, she saw that explanation too. It was all in the same post.
And I do want to say for anyone that's going to see this after, we anything we're changing in the bylaw, we vote on as a board. We're not making these changes with Paul at night in a dark room in the back of town hall. We might talk through changes with town staff and things, but anything that's changed, as you saw tonight and every other meeting, if there's something that's needs to be discussed, we'll vote on it, or we all say yes, no, maybe. Everything's discussed in the open. There's nothing has been changed on any of this that wasn't on camera in an open meeting. Nothing was
Correct.
changed.
Correct. And to my next point, on that note, Alan, where she's, when she wants us to put up the line items, explain our reasoning and all, the reasoning is in those videos. Let's face it, it's not reasonable for us to go transcribe those videos into it, inserting them into a document. That would be prohibitive to attempt to do. But we do post the videos. And again, Paul, you saw the verbiage I put on those before. I've said, look in here if you want to see how this was decided. I sent you shots of those. So that's all stuff that's been put before the public. But that's the answer to her next challenge, is she wants to understand the reasoning. It's right there in the videos where you can watch us discuss it.
Tim, did you?
I was gonna say, looking at the complaint and town council's response, I have no notes for town council's response.
Me neither. I wasn't,
No.
I don't have anything to add, really.
No, it's probably better than, things I'm coming with my personal feelings on it, but yeah, the town council's answer was fine with me.
Do you want us to take a vote on that, Paul, or you're fine with all of us saying that we're fine with it?
Do we need to vote?
Does anybody have a problem or wish to add anything to town council's response email?
Paul would like a vote.
I think it would be better.
Okay.
So unless anyone has a change, I'm going to go to a vote, roll call vote to approve to send this
Do you need a motion?
letter to, I don't think we need a motion, but do we?
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
in a second. Roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So that will be given to the state, and could a copy get sent to Mrs. Gallagher, and we
Yes.
post a copy, I'm assuming, somewhere? No?
I'll have to look, but she'll be getting that
She'll
as well
get a copy,
from
yes.
the town council.
You'll put it wherever town council tells you to.
But yeah, what you're gonna run into is all the stuff I did doesn't count because it's on Facebook.
Last item on our agenda, going back to earlier in the night, we have about 9 sets of minutes that Brian sent out. I believe Ken and Bridget were not on for these, so they won't be voting. Did anybody read them? Do we want to push them to the next meeting? What's the pleasure?
I read them.
I'm good to vote on them.
Me too. Tim, you good?
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the January 7th, 2025 meeting.
Motion to approve minutes of January.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm Eric. Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes with 2 abstentions. January 21st, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Tim?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. February 10th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Tim?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. February 25th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Tim?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. March 11th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Tim?
That was a long one. Yes.
Yes. I think I missed that one, maybe. No, it was there.
That was a long one. You were there.
Was that the 11:30 one? That wasn't the
Oh,
12.
yeah.
That wasn't the 12:30.
It was really long.
Followed by the zoning
Because it was my
bylaw?
birthday.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I noticed.
Tim's a yes. Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
How long are you guys here?
3/25/25.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Eric got that one. Rob got the second. Tim?
Yep.
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. April 1st, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Tim?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. April 8th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Tim?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Final one, April 15th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Tim?
Aye.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Almost caught up, Brian. That's yeoman's work right there.
I'll get there.
Well, it looks like by the end of the year you'll be there.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Tim?
Yes.
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bridget?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Have a good night, thank you.